or I can happily bet the hand and take it down. Red Dragon was somewhat incidental in that thinking, and could have caught me in trouble with that. But that was sort of kind of based on the player for that. That hand probably would have turned out badly for us if we'd have played it, by the look of the way the board came out. I don't think there's much reason to get involved with a hand like this. Being in the big blind means we obviously will check through to see a flop if we get that opportunity. If someone raises, I don't really think that there's much reason to play back. I mean, we can certainly with the suited spades that are connected somewhat, but I think in stack preservation mode you probably don't need to do that very often. We have flopped a gut shot. Yes, and no worries if you miss a few of my hands. That's the way it goes. I certainly appreciate you hanging out with me for the afternoon while we play some poker. It's been fun, and I like the way you think about the hands and the interchange that we get going. Even though it's 3 minutes delay, I think we get used to it after a while, and it works pretty well. I'm getting out of this. I mean, I've obviously got the gut shot and the pair of jacks, but I'm really not feeling like I'm very strong in this position. I think that there's somebody without an ace or a five in this spot seems pretty unlikely to me, and I'm drawing pretty dead against those hands, so I think it's time to get out. Yeah, only 12 left. There's not that many that start in these. They're pretty small fields overall. So that's one of the reasons why I like them, is because it's pretty easy to get through quickly, and they don't run for like 9 hours or anything like that. So even though they're low buy-in stuff, they can still be a lot of fun. This is absolutely the sort of hand that I'd be thrilled with if we were playing high-low. Obviously, in a high game, it has a lot less value. I think the sort of ace deuce six portion of it doesn't really do a ton for you. Um, so I'd be a lot more interested in that hand if we were playing high-low, I think. Three spades again. I'm not really thrilled with this hand, so we can get out of it even on the button. Yeah, so far the chips are coming in pretty good on the PLO. I had a few stumbles in there early on, but yeah, I'm doing okay. Hey, I'm gonna mangle how to pronounce your name. Olchuillo? Okay, we'll go with Olchuillo, unless you correct me. Good to see you here, man. Yes, real money. We're playing for, in this case, a 32-cent buy-in. So it's not a lot of real money, but it is real money. Um, this is a PLO tournament in a home game that I'm a part of that is surprisingly strong poker play for the tiny micro stakes that we play for. And I often say that it is quite potentially the toughest micro stakes games on Stars in this particular home game. I'm sure there's a few other home games where really good poker players get together and hang out, but I'm also fairly confident that most of them play for a lot higher stakes than 32 cents. Thank you, Hammer, for being my de facto mod in the chat room. That is awesome. Awesome, buddy. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm playing a bit nitty over here on the PLO screen just because we don't need to. We got a bit of trash talking going on here, actually, which is unusual for these PSO home games. We're usually pretty friendly in here, although occasionally we do get people that have radically divergent styles of play that do get on each other's nerves a little bit. It's kind of unusual to see two Canadians go at it like that too. That's a bit bizarre. I know both of these guys actually myself, and well, I don't know them personally, but I know them. I know their game on here quite a bit, and I actually have a fair bit of respect for both of their games. That's the ironic part about this whole interchange between River Flat and myself, 000000, is that I respect both of their games. They do play different games in different ways, for sure, but I mean, I have respect for both of their games. So it's kind of interesting to see it. Fuzz from the UK stepping in to be a referee. Just because you're a character doesn't mean you have to have character. Well, I think given that we're sitting on a pair of aces here and we've got a suited ace as well, I think we are going to say, dealer, please take all my chips, put them in the middle, and make everybody else match that bet if they want to keep playing. We might just steal a big bunch of chips out of River if he stays disconnected somehow and doesn't get a chance to act. That's kind of underhanded and slimy, but if it happens, it happens, and the chips go in your stack anyways, and that's just part of the deal. It's kind of sucky, but it's just part of the deal. And I think we're in pretty good shape here. Oh, that was just brutal. That was just brutal. Sucking out on the runner diamonds. That was just brutal. Alrighty, but that puts us down to the final table regardless. So we're here at the final table anyways. We have a chance. Anytime you're sitting at a final table, you always have a chance to be the person sitting with all the chips at the end. Chip in a chair is the expression, I believe, that comes out. We've played these home games before, so as you've been watching them, there's familiar faces all around this table. We've seen Easy Chips for You on the stream before. We've seen Fuzz on the stream before. We've seen J420B on the streams before. We've seen Happy Sap on the stream before. We've seen Meg on the stream before. We've seen Fadian on the stream before. We've seen Red Dragon today on the stream, and we've seen Riverflat on the stream before. So everybody here is a somewhat familiar face, even on the stream. They're all familiar to me from previous iterations of this home game, but they're actually all familiar now to people on the stream as well, I would think. We've all played against these players in past formats on anything but HoldEm. Happy Sap is our Irish Jamaican fellow who is probably just rolling a spliff at the moment. That's why he's timing out, I think. Well, Hammer, one of the things I'm thinking as things get on, you seem to be a really, you seem to be a really loyal viewer, which is awesome. B, you seem to be pretty knowledgeable about poker and a pretty reasonable, polite fellow to boot. Thinking I might ask you to be a chat moderator if things get a little crazy in chat sometimes. Thank you. The aces did not go well for me. We did not. We hit our trips, but we did not manage to hit our boat, and somebody else went runner flush on us, which is PLO in a nutshell, I think. That hand, I mean, whatever else, it's a bit of a brutal beat, I think, for sure. But that hand, whatever else it does, it illustrates PLO being a streaky game of the nuts. And good hands pre-flop do not always translate into good hands at the end of the board. That's a hand we'd be interested in a high-low setting. We're not really that interested in it here. Being ninth of ninth with less than 10 big blinds, we have to pick our spot fairly well. Doesn't mean we can play passively and fold out every hand. Obviously, we need to get more chips, but we also don't need to put our stack at risk in situations where we don't have a ton of equity. So, especially being a pot limit game, again, there's no antes, so we can really sit around between the blinds. We can really sit around for quite a while without actually putting any money in the pot, which means that we can last for longer with a shorter stack. No real reason to get involved with this hand either. The suited deuce 4 doesn't do us much good, neither does the king 7, so I think we can safely click our fold button and get the heck out of Dodge here. You got to turn that trend around there, Hammer. I think, though, that's often the way it goes. If you look at a chip graph at the end of a tournament, it's a series of hands that slowly bleed you down a little bit, and then one big bump up to when you double up or when you get scoop a big pot, and then another series of slowly chips dribbling away, and then boom, another scoop. So even when you're doing well, that's sort of the way the tournament's going to go. Cool. Well, I appreciate that. It's like I say, it hasn't really been an issue so far. But if people start watching the stream, I mean, it might get to a point where we need to have chat moderators. In that case, it would be awesome to have you. When the flop when the flop comes with the ace on it, I feel like I'm pretty good, right, against a hand with two kings in it. You're feeling like you're in pretty good shape, but of course there's the two diamonds sitting there as well, which are just kind of a random thing when they're going in pre-flop. Interestingly enough, River Flat, the one that sucked out on us with the kings and the running into diamonds there, is the first person off the final table as well, interestingly enough. This pair of nines, I think this is the hand that we have to decide we're going to town with. It's obviously not the strongest PLO hand in the world. It's actually a pretty weak PLO hand in general. But we can't really expect other people to go out for us. At this stage, we've got a small enough stack that we have to develop a stack at some point. And with the blinds having just gone up to 125, 250, we would have come around here to 1,250 left after that, probably like 1,100. So just over 4 big blinds, which is not a good place to be. So I think a hand with any sort of equity here under the gun is something that I pretty much have to pot. And at this point, I obviously have to call the rest and repot the rest over top and make sure that we're all in and go from there. I like the fact that I've got diamonds working for me. I've got a pair working for me. Obviously there are better spots that I could have been in, but I'm not necessarily going to get those better spots before I run out of chips. And I'm running out of chips pretty quickly with the blinds coming towards me here. Against kings, I'm not doing very good, especially not with spades coming up like that. And we're done. Oh well, it was fun nonetheless. Hey, what's your handle on stars? I'm gonna come rail you on the client. I think I'm gonna shut the stream down for now. My voice is getting a little ratchety, and I need to grab some dinner and stuff like that. But I think I'll come rail you on the stream. So let me know what your let me know in chat what your stars handle is. And I am going to shut this down now. We've been going for 4 hours and 20 minutes, which is a pretty darn good run, I think, for a Thursday afternoon. We are Thursday afternoon, right? Yeah, Thursday afternoon. So yeah, we started off today with some Badugi. We played some pot limit Badugi and some fixed limit Badugi. The pot limit Badugi was a free roll satellite tournament that we ended up winning our ticket in and moving on to the next round, which was cool. The fixed limit Badugi tournament we were not so lucky in, and we busted out of that one before the cash. It's going to happen. It's going to happen fairly regularly if you're a poker player. Get used to it. Even the best poker players in the world are going to bust out in front of the cash more often than they don't bust out in front of the cash. Then we moved on to, at that point, I had just started the Micro Millions 070 tournament, which I brought up and started playing, as well as a PLO that I was playing off on another table. So we did, for a brief moment to today break our anything but hold'em rule by playing the Micro Millions 070 hold'em game. But fear not, ladies and gentlemen. The poker universe aligned in such a way that we were not breaking our rule for very long, as I busted with what we've discussed on stream. It turns out to be a fairly bad call. I'm pretty happy with how the hand went, right up until the point that I called for all my chips on the reshove over my c-bet. So yeah, up until that point, I'm pretty happy with the way it went. After that point, it went really badly for me. So yeah, that one lasted about 5 minutes, and that one was off. But then we played some PLO for the rest of the day and made it to the final table. Didn't cash in that one either, but final table appearance, I'm reasonably happy with that, and kind of got coolered to at that spot. I've been chatting long enough that Hammer's you're seeing the hand on the stream now. So yeah, I think I kind of agree that probably the 9983 isn't that strong. And I guess given the pot limit game, I don't have to really be that concerned that I'm down to 4 big blinds after the blinds go through me. I can still wait for at least another round before I throw chips in the middle. So yeah, it's probably a little early to be it was probably a little early to be doing that, but hey, it's the way it goes sometimes. I am obviously not going to make the right decisions at all times, and I'm pretty sure that one was the wrong decision, and I'm obviously pretty sure that calling with the queens and the Micro Millions was the wrong decision as well. But that's going to happen when you play poker. You can't always make the right decision. But we're gonna close. I'm gonna close you down for now. Let me know what your handle or what your star's name is in chat, and I'll come rail you, Hammer. And otherwise, we will see you again for another edition of Anything But Hold'em. I'm out.